All right, everybody, welcome back to the Human-Centered Ownership and Measured Excellence course. We are in week 7. We are almost done here. This week, we are looking at employment, the college goal, the E in CARES. And we're on a new day here, so thank you all for finding the availability. I had to go present at a conference yesterday, so I wasn't able to do our normally scheduled time. But if you're watching the recording, doesn't matter. You're just watching it on your own time anyway. So, um, competency-based instruction is the focus of the employment room. Just gonna make sure my participants are open. Okay, so today we're going to name the real skill inside one assignment and write it as a rubric criterion a student could put on a resume. So this is an idea that we've been talking about here where we're the students are out here, they're doing like real things, real skills, like showing their competency. And then what does that look like for them if they wanted to put that skill onto a resume? So that's kind of the idea behind what we're thinking about for competency-based instruction. But let's go ahead and speaking of skills, I want y'all to try to name a skill that you're proud of. So, um, and more specifically, what's a skill that you're proud of that you learned on the job? And then how would somebody know if you have it? I've got let me go ahead and put the assignment link here into the chat. So if you guys want to get a quick link there, and then here is the link to the DigiPad. It looks like we've got Dion already on there and Sally on there. I'm gonna put some music on here and let us try to brainstorm, think about what did you learn? So for my example here, I put here Ronald HTML accordions in Canvas. That is these things where you can like click and open them. I didn't know that before I started this job, and now I like to use them as much as I can because I think they're snappy and it makes for more like interaction, more active learning than just kind of, and it puts stuff together nicely in like little learning chunks. So go ahead and press the add a capsule this year with this little plus button. And yeah, like I said, think about what did you learn on the job, um, a skill that you're proud of. And I'm going to put us on with Chromio here, right back home to you, right back home to you. Sorry, once I get in the Chromio groove, it's hard to get out. Okay, we got a couple more added here before I popped off mute. Let me just read Dion's. One skill I'm proud of is being able to break something complicated down and teach it in a way that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of our jobs here. Dion's talking about how he does it on the football field. Those that don't know, he's the coach, a football coach for high school. Sally is the ability to help people uncover, see, and define their own academic strengths. I like that. Showing people that they are capable learners, they do have meaningful experiences and can go on to earn their degree. It's great. All right. Who's over here talking about, is this Unix? Unix? Is that you, Ken? It's like a computer thing. Unix. Like a Linux? Okay. Dean, teaching taxonomy in business, it was always just tell and show. Hmm, nice. More why we teach. I like that. What's this photo? Rachel says, individualizing student support, honed in the skill of assessing and supporting students based on not only what they say, but what they don't say. Hmm. It's like body language. Earl is seems to be skilled at logistics. Nice. Learn on the job. Very cool. Thank you all for sharing there. Oh, and I wanted to show y'all because a lot of people were asking about this accordion menu. Um, so this is what it looks like, and I'm not gonna teach y'all HTML code today, but I am gonna teach you the concept or like the basic idea here of how and if you were interested in doing something like an accordion box. Um, I know for some of y'all this looks like the Matrix, but um, basically what an accordion box is it's this thing that's called it's called details, and the details here is this box. So everything that is in this detail, and you can even look at it. It's got a little bit of a margin. It's got a border. It's got an overflow. The border here is 1 pixel and it's 90. See, this is a color. So this border here, that's what that code is. It puts this border around this box. And then when you have it as a detail, that's what makes it so you can click it open and closed. So you start the details here, and then you finish the detail, and then you put everything in it, and then you finish the details. So everything that's in this box, or sorry, in this box, when I close it, that's all that's all in this details. And then this summary, I highlighted the summary because that's what this little top part of the box is. So if you look here, it says summary. This is all just like the way that it looks like this. Anytime you see this hashtag with numbers and letters, and it's 6 of them, that's a color. Um, so like all these Fs are white. And then, but you can see here where the text says event 1 of 9, gain attention, name a skill you are proud of. And so you can see that right here, right? And you can even look and kind of see like, okay, this font size is 16, um, and this font size is 20. So you can kind of see like how this turns into this. And then we have the rest of what's in the box, and then we have the close of the box down here. So if you look at this page in the backstage view, and for anybody brave enough to go into the HTML editor, it's when you're editing a page or a assignment or anything, it's um, this thing here, and then that's where it comes up with everything. But just to show you, so like here's details. I can actually highlight it all the way down. So this is start of a box, finish of a box, start, finish. And so these are all the accordion boxes that I'm clicking open and close. It's because of this details. And so what I did to make this a little transparency, I used like I have kind of what I want to cover for our lessons here, and then I just had AI. I said make accordion menus for each of the different sections. In this case, we're doing the 9 events of instruction, and so I said just make a accordion for each of those, and so that's why I'm able to like just open and close those ones. So little extra nerdy there. A little extra techie for some of y'all, but we might cover that in the fall in service. We sent out the survey last week, and if enough people are, said that they're interested in that, then we'll offer a session for that on or at in service in the fall. All right, so let's move on. We're our focus today, reframe one assignment around a named competency and write it as plain observable statement. And if we were to align this with the Washington course design checklist, this is a lot of the stuff that's in the outcomes and alignment section, which is section 2. We're going to be able to name the employer recognized competency at the center of an assignment, and we're going to write it as an observable statement and attach a rubric to it. So we talked a little bit about rubrics last time. I think I tried to import one last time. So we're going to do that again. But last time we were working with outcomes. Now we're talking about using a rubric for the actual assignment so that the grading is clear for everybody. And so we're going to leave with an assignment that's reframed around the competency and a plan to do the inspection for this week. Our alignment is communication, apply and analyze. The skill standard for this one is B, identify, evaluate, and modify outcomes. And the course learning outcome, hold on. Oh, just got your message, Janice. Reframe an assignment around a name competency aligned to employer relevant outcomes. So that's the E in cares is employment. Okay. So we have a quick form here for y'all. Aside from teaching the material, how do you prepare your students for employment? And so one way to do this would be like, think about your course that you're teaching right now. If a student finished that course and wrote just like if they were updating their resume and they were to write a single line of like what they did in your course, what do you think it would be? And you can put it here in the form. I'll put the direct link to the form here as well. And then if anybody wants to hop off and talk about it too, that'd be cool. Keep pressing the wrong thing. Okay. I'm gonna put the Chromio back on as y'all think about what they would put on the resume based on what they're learning in your class. Maybe you have a specific assignment where you're like, oh, this person is able to do this, and they could put that on their resume. All right. I don't see any submissions, so does anybody want to hop off and just tell me? Like, I know we're at a technical college, so I think most of the stuff here is competency based, could be added to a resume.
Say,
But what do you?
Ronald,
Yeah, go ahead.
um, I teach at a very detailed level, and any single assignment would never go on a resume, actually.
Okay.
It would look like you were an absolute beginner if you wrote this kind of thing down. So I put one in, but
Hmm.
I would never have students put that as as a line on their resume. It might be detailed in something bigger, but yeah, there's just too much in the degree to actually put any one assignment. Whatever you learn in that is not going to by itself be enough to go on a resume.
Okay. I What about let me ask you this. If you have like instead of thinking it as an assignment level, what about like at a course level? Like
That's better. Yeah.
you could probably just take maybe some of those the outcomes
Yeah.
and add those in. Okay. I mean, I think for something like that, you're right. You'd want to it would have to be one of the kind of capstone projects if they were going to put it onto a resume. But also, I mean, like if you think about in your course how many contact hours they have doing that thing, a resume uh, line could be like spent 60 hours debugging code or something like that. Taylor, when people finish your program, what are they putting on their resume?
Um,
Skills.
Specifically from like one of the classes that I teach, well, I teach all the lab, but one that I mainly teach is radiography. So something that they would put on their resume would be like ability to, what did I put? Ability to complete uh diagnostic FMX or yeah, using a digital sensor.
Hmm. And then when they're applying, the dentist's going to see that they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is a, foundational thing that
Mm.
they need to know how to do,
Yeah,
skill that they
assist the
need.
dentist in a composite procedure or assist the dentist in procedures, sterilize instruments.
Okay.
Yeah,
How'd the rest of the day go last week?
it was good. We saw 15 patients, 16, including somebody. Off the off the record. No, it's
Yeah,
fine. But yeah, we saw 16 patients. We're able to get them through and treated. So it was a good day.
perfect.
With
Nice.
one dentist, that was pretty good. Yeah.
It was just the one that came. There wasn't another one
Yeah, there was another one doing exams, but there's only one doing treatment. So
doing the work.
her and I were doing treatment. I got to do quite a bit of fillings that day, so that was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we heard from a couple of y'all, so the form is there if you want to go ahead and add your submission. I'm going to move on now to present the main content for this week, where we talk about what competency-based instruction is, what it actually is. So, just at a basic level, when we're looking at the word competency, it's a skill that a person can demonstrate. So, competency-based design starts from a demonstration. Decide what a student should be able to do, write it in a language, write in language a learner could check themselves, right? So, make sure it's understandable, and make sure the assignment measures that doing, whatever they're doing. It's the difference between, like, let's say, write a 5-page paper to show that you understand this, or build an argument from evidence and defend it to a skeptical reader. So this is the skill that you would want. Like that's the specific, but that's why we're writing a 5-page paper. We're not just writing a 5-page paper just to have students like, they should know how to write a 5-page paper. No, they want to the skill that we need to assess is the ability to build an argument from evidence, right? And so most of y'all are doing this. This shouldn't be new to a lot of you, but it may be. I know there's a lot of you that are kind of new to teaching and some of these words and ways that we talk about it. But if I were to break it down a little bit more, competency-based instruction is built around what students can do and show. So that's if they can do, well, I guess doing and show, yeah, doing, they kind of go hand in hand, right? Because the thing that they do is what they're going to show you. Written in plain, observable language, judged against a clear standard. So we're talking about assessments here. This is where we're going to get into the rubrics, right? Because they're going to have, there's levels to it. And then tied to a skill employers name and recognize. I think most of y'all are kind of tapped into your industry and know what they're looking for, which is great. But if you're not, that's kind of where you want to go. I know that I just know because they were helping me out with something, but actually, I think everybody went through it last year at the In and Out days where it was digital entertainment and design, uh, like redid their program learning outcomes as values and the values that are like current in their industry, and they like studied their industry and were like, these are the things that they need to know when they go in there. So that like they did their due diligence, and I think they're pretty happy with their results of like, okay, now it's very easy to know where um or sorry, what we need to focus on with our students. And then competency-based instruction is honest about the readiness, right? So maybe you're not ready, like you can't do it, you know. Maybe you're getting there, but there's still some issues, and then there would be that final like, I'm ready to do this. Hopefully by the time they're, you know, ready to graduate, they've got a set of skills, nunchuck skills. Um, okay. The competency-based instruction is not seat time or points for turning something in. So, um, some people are, required. There is a certain amount of seat time that students need to have, but that's not the competency based, right? It's, I mean, I can demonstrate that I can come to class, but like that's just being in a certain place at a time, a certain time and place. Um, Vague goals like understand or be familiar with. So Snowy talks about this a lot from outcomes and assessment where, if you how can you measure if somebody understands something, right? There's verbs that are a little bit more specific. That's why if you've taken any of my other courses, I talk about the Bloom's taxonomy. I don't think I've talked about it in this course yet, but today's the day. So Bloom's taxonomy, maybe y'all know this triangle is oh wait, well, yeah. This is what our college-wide learning outcomes are based off of, but you've got like the two lower levels and then the stack on, but the verbs there. So you can see it says here understand, but how do I show that I can understand it? I can explain something, I can paraphrase, I can report, describe, summarize. Those are all more specific ways of showing that you understand something. Okay, competency-based instruction is not a curve or a grade. That's just, I don't think we do curve grades here. A skill that only lives in your head, right? It's good to know how to do something, but then it's actually like being able to do that thing is important. And then a one-shot gotcha with no path back to mastery. So you don't want to be like, hey, pop quiz, do this thing that I told you all about last week that you should have mastered at this point. Oh, you don't know how to do it? X or something like that. You don't want to, we're here to help all of our students succeed, not say, hey, you don't know how to do this. I think hopefully nobody's doing that. Okay, and so moving on here, writing every criterion as a resume ready skill. That's another, if we're talking about employment, right? That's one of our college goals is to get these students out into the workforce. Um, we have to help them with things like a resume. So it's a key move here. Name each rubric criterion the way the skill would read on a resume, a demonstrable action, not a category, right? It tells the student exactly what mastery looks like, and it hands them the phrase to carry into an interview. So, sometimes you'll have a grade on something that will be like, oh, the content that they made was good, or they followed the directions. So I'm going to give them 10 out of 10. They were very organized when they did it, and they wore the proper clothes. There's parts of that, right? Maybe I can give professionalism. That's one of our college-wide learning outcomes, professional responsibility. So um, you could grade them on that. But if we look over here, we can see that these are resume ready. So diagnoses a fault and documents the fix. This one you could say, as they're moving through a course, how many faults are they documenting? So you could say, oh, I've diagnosed 30 faults and found fixes to them. Or meets a client's specifications under a deadline. Builds an argument from evidence and defends it. This we had up top. De-escalates a customer complaint in writing. So, think about what you're teaching and kind of how that would look. Um, Taylor gave the example earlier about being able to use a tool, or was it like reading something? Reading a gauge.
Taking an FMX.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to kind of the main thing that we're going to be doing here. So this would be turning a real assignment into a competency-based rubric. I spoke with our faculty leads that will be leading this session with Hannah Greer and Greg Doyan, are going to be the ones doing the community of practice in the fall related to this one. And so I was able to get an Airframe Systems project from Greg. And so if I open up this document, this is a PDF. Looks like it's a scan from um, Airframe Systems project guide. If you'll notice, it's got the purpose up here in the top, service oxygen systems. Okay. I'll probably fill that in a little bit more, but maybe this is technical writing. We're trying to like save the amount of, text is pretty dry here. Um, but I mean, maybe there could be, this is the thing that they see. And so the form needs to be pretty similar to this. But in the assignment instructions, maybe, adding in a sentence about like what, excuse me, um, why do we need to do the oxygen systems? Oxygen systems get dirty and we have to clean them. So this is how we service oxygen systems. And then or show me that you know how to clean an oxygen system. And then it's got the procedures here. So this is pretty standard. And so what you can do when you get something like this, close this up. Determine the suitable location. So this is like kind of pulling from that document. That up again. You can see here the procedures. Determine the location, serviceability of the system. Okay. All right. So let's name the competency and then write the criteria as resume lines. So This is before we use any tool. We're gonna try to use AI here in a little bit to help us with this, if you want. Um, but just look here at this example. So if I'm looking at this this assignment here, the criterion, the resume ready skill would be services an aircraft oxygen system and completes required maintenance records. If I were to sum this up, that looks like that's what this is. And I don't know if you're there, Earl, but like if you're able to talk, but maybe you can confirm. I know you're subject matter expert over here.
I think that's correct. You're looking good, Ronald.
Yeah, would you say that this accurately describes what this assignment is?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all I needed you for.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and if you'll notice, like if I'm finishing up this program and I'm, trying to, put my resume together and apply for a job at Boeing or something, then, this seems like something that would, legitimately go on a resume that I can service the oxygen systems. Or if that's too like narrow of a skill, kind of what Ken was alluding to earlier. Like, got a bunch of these little skills that are all part of like a bigger thing. Maybe instead of just saying the aircraft oxygen system services the aircraft systems, or the systems in an aircraft, and uh, able to complete the required maintenance records. And then there is a rubric here. And we've talked a lot about rubrics here. It's just a way to break it down so that everybody's clear, instructor and students and anybody else, looking at, you got Snowy coming in, looking at it. It's very clear where the student is and why, why they're there. And so, um, let's say you're not that experienced in servicing the aircraft oxygen system yet. So you might say attempts to service the system or fill bottles but misses key safety location checks, or the paperwork is incomplete or accurate. So you get your assignment, you're looking at, okay, this doesn't look right, or they didn't do this. I'm gonna mark them as emerging here. And if you've got points, like if you're giving points for this assignment, which I think most people do, you can attach points to each level of the rubric. Reinforcing might be correctly determines serviceability and fills oxygen bottles safely. Paperwork is completed but has minor errors. So this is just like, they're mostly getting it. They can understand the concept, but they just need a little bit more practice. And then mastering might look something like flawlessly services the oxygen system. So they go through the process, they don't make any mistakes, fills the bottles following all safety protocols, and accurately completes all required forms and records. Now, this works if I'm just, want to do one rubric for maybe the whole assignment. But this can also be broken down because I'm seeing right now there's servicing the system, there's filling the bottles using the right protocol, and then there's filling out the forms. So you might be able to break that one down instead of just having this one. It could be um, three things, or or this one's got four. So are they able to determine the suitable location? And then you can have, they're emerging, they can't find it, uh, reinforcing, um, they found it, but they asked for help, or it took them a while to find it. Suitable, if it's mastery, found the suitable location very quickly. All right, so to fill this, like I said, this table in here, if we wanted to kind of expand it, there's two ways to do it. You can, I mean, there's tons of ways to do it, but I'll give you all two options here. You can do it with AI, which is the fast way, um, or you can do it by hand. And I've got two websites that you can go to and check out. This is steps for creating a rubric from Berkeley, or if you prefer creating and using rubrics from Carnegie Mellon. You can kind of look through that for more information, and then they've got some examples there. But the AI is is another option here. And so if I look here, this is the prompt that I'm going to put in. It says here, here's an assignment, build a competency-based rubric for it, write each criterion as an observable resume-ready skill an employer would recognize, use 3 performance level, emerging, reinforcing mastery, and describe what each looks like, then output the rubric as a CSV formatted for Canvas Rubric Importer. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to open up Copilot because I'm a rule follower. So I'm just going to paste that prompt in there, and then I'm going to find the AMT assignment example, and I'm going to put that in and see what it can put together. Oh, that was fast. Okay, I built the rubric from the 4 observable tasks, determining a service location, assessing the system service. Oh, so this is what I was just talking about, right? If you just use those 4 that are already part of it, you can just expand those and say like, okay, here are the 3 levels that you can complete this. And you can add more. You can add like 1 or 2, like they get it or they don't get it. You can really do lots with that. But no, like the more you add, the more complicated it becomes for you to check later, and then also for your students. It's just going to be a lot of reading. Students don't like to read these days. I've been noticing. Okay, so it gave me this, but this is not useful for me. It needs to be in a specific format. And so I put on this page the Canvas Rubric Importer CSV that we looked at last time. And I'll show you where you can find that in your own Canvas course. But just for now, because it didn't do it in the format I wanted, I'm going to attach a cloud file. Just upload a file. Okay, so I'll put this one in here, and I'm going to say it needs to be formatted like this, and I to be able to. So it gave it to me in this box where it probably wants me to copy it and put it into something else, but it's very like you really have to do it the way that Canvas wants it. Otherwise, it's going to give an error. Okay, so I've got my AMT Oxygen Systems rubric. Does anybody remember how well, I guess the instructions are right there. But does anybody else want to kind of guide me to where I need to go? I've got my rubric ready to go into Canvas. Where should I go?
Outcomes or rubrics.
Ooh, outcomes or rubrics. What do y'all think? Let's see. Outcomes takes me here. Ooh. This says upload your outcomes though. We're doing
Oh, and then rubric.
So I like where your head's at, and if you want to do your course learning outcomes, that's a great place for anybody to, and it looks like they have something to import them as well. Uh, but yeah, your second guess was correct. Rubrics, import rubric, and then that's where you download the template. So if you click on that, you'll same file name, import rubric template. You open it up. It's got kind of this weird stuff at the top. Once again, you don't need to worry about that. Just let the AI handle that. You could do it on your own, like if you AI averse, and want to put this in here. I would say it's easier to put it into here than to actually like do the rubric inside of Canvas, but I don't know. I don't really like to type, so uh, for me, just seems easier to like everything here is in like one place, and I could put it all there at once. So let's go ahead and I'll go to import rubric, and I have the one is the AMT Oxygen Systems rubric. I'll open that up, and if everything works correctly, there we go. One rubric successfully imported. And so here it is. Now I'll just go over this one real quick. They did, let's see, when it made it, you're able to give it points for each of the ones. This one gave 15 maximum points. You could say make it 100,000 point project. Let's see what that comes up with. And then but it looks pretty good. So here, selects and prepares a safe oxygen service location. And then you've got mastering independently identifies and prepares the oxygen servicing location. Oh yeah, that's what I said, right? Independently. And then let's see, location and addresses much safety requirements with minor emissions or guidance. So what did I say? Asking somebody, like getting a little bit of guidance, or requires significant guidance to identify a suitable servicing location. And so those would be the three levels there, right? And so what's nice about the rubrics, right? If I were to attach this to an assignment, let's see if I could do this real quick. We'll call this the see, they keep giving it to me in this weird format. I'll just say I need a downloadable CSV. So I'm just going to call this AMT. But then if I go, let's see, I'll make the assignment. And then obviously I'd fill out all that kind of stuff. But then I'll go here to find the rubric. And I'm in my home course. You could also click over, like, let's say your rubric is in another course. You can click over and bring them in from other courses. And mine's not here. I think because it's not, let's see here. Yeah, it's in draft mode. So let me see, let me get this 100.1 in there real quick. Just so that I can show y'all what that would look like if you wanted to do it as 100 on a 100-point scale. But y'all seen this, right? Like how easy it is here to just come in and be like, okay, this is all in here and all the points are, it looks like it kind of weighted it more towards servicing the oxygen bottles. There's a lot of points there. And then completing the maintenance form and records is a little bit less. I feel like, sorry, Earl, if you're still there, I want your subject matter expertise for this kind of assignment. Would you say like they decided to break it down where there's a little bit less points in the beginning too, and then there's a lot of points at this point at this procedure, and then there's only 10 for the forms. Would you do it that way, or would you
Yeah, I
have
think
it
it's
more
appropriately rated. Yeah, because those are the important bits of it.
this one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
those are the things that get people dead if they're not done right.
Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so pretty good. I mean, obviously you would need to still everybody would go and you would read what it came up with and make sure that it's legitimate and make any sort of necessary changes that you would want to do. Um, but yeah, that's basically that process for the rubric. Now, if I come in here and I say, how do I make this? So if I come over here and I say Wait a minute. How do I make this? Hold on. Let me download the rubric. How do I make this a rubric I can use? Somebody so there's usually like a button down here that's like submit, or maybe is it because it's not being used? What am I missing here? That's good. Create new rubric, import rubric. No? I don't know. I'm missing something. There's a way to make it so it can actually be used, but I just don't know where that is. What's this one got? Hold on. Let me check something real quick. This one looks good to go. I mean, it looks the same.
Check my last name. Yes. This one was the hardest.
Taylor, do you know where what's going on here? I'm trying to make it's in draft mode, this rubric.
I literally did this last week when I was doing last week's thing, and I was like, "Well, I want to do it," and then I figured it out, and I'm doing it now, and I was like on the same step, and I can't remember.
Right?
It's
I
like
think
an
there's something
approved.
weird going on here.
You have to like approve it.
Don't you have to
Oh.
save it?
Okay,
Don't you
go
have to
to
save it?
edit.
I know,
Edit.
but where save it? Oh,
Click the
oh yeah,
box.
yep,
Click the
yep, yep,
box.
yep, yep,
You
yep,
need to
yep, yep,
edit, and
yep,
then save rubric.
yep, 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 yep. Thank you. Thank you all. Had a brain fart there for a
There
second.
you go.
So you gotta go into edit and then
Out.
you gotta go into save it. When I was opening it up, I was like, this is the edit view, but this is not actually the edit view. This is the, you know, what it would look like to your students. You would have to go into edit and then go into save. Thank you. So now that that is there, let me go back to the AMT assignment, find the rubric. There it is right there, 100 points, and then add that to the assignment. Now, if I go publish this one, and then I want to go into student view. As a student, right, I would get the, the main assignment instructions, and then I'll have this down here that I can be like, okay, I need to be able to select an appropriate oxygen service, and then this is what my instructor is looking for at this level, so I need to make sure that I am able to do that on down the line, right? So they're trying to go for the mastery. If I go into grades here, or let me go into SpeedGrader. So if I go into SpeedGrader, I don't know if y'all noticed this, and I might have mentioned it last time, but inside of SpeedGrader now they have this here, and so when you're giving them points for the assignment, you could either have it so that the rubric, like the grade comes from the rubric, or you can have it, you know, from this little drop down box right here. We've got complete, incomplete. But then like look how easy this is to just like, okay, I saw what they did and it looks like, they did really great at this part, but they were, they had minor errors in the evaluating the serviceability. They did a great job, following the approved procedures, but there were a couple of minor errors in their documentation. And so real easy, pop, 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 pop. The students get to see like, okay, I can verify, yeah, there were a couple of mistakes here. And so, and then you would submit that assessment. So, and then also you can see there's they got the instructor score there, based on the points from these different levels. You can see it's 100 points, everything is correct. You made an attempt, you get 49 points. Okay, let me see. Let me go back here because there's one more thing I want to look at with the rubrics. You can, let's see here. Don't post the Learning Mastery Gradebook. Use this rubric for assignment grading. So if I click this one. Save that. Oh, this is funny because I have it as a 1 point in this course. So 1 point equals 1 hour. That's kind of what the reason that I do that. Um, but the rubric's total points is 100. And so if they get it all correct, then they can get 1,000, no, sorry, 10,000%. Sorry, that's funny to me. You would just have to go in and let's say this assignment I have right now is a 1 point assignment. I will come in here and make sure that my rubric matches to this percentage. So 100%, 100 points for this one. I'll come back and then I'll say use this for grading, save it. And then now I'll come back into SpeedGrader. I'll do this one, this one, this one, this one. And I guess it's the same thing. I thought it would change this. Let me try this one. Dion's getting 100% on this AMT assignment. Oh yeah, look at that. It put it in there. So I did the grade here. I graded it from the rubric. I submitted it. And then now you can see that the grade is 100. So that's a cool thing you can do with rubrics. Let me get back in here to what we're doing for this week. So as we did that, we did this, we did the AI, we imported it into Canvas, and then we did all that stuff. So I was gonna say I need a volunteer. I don't know if I'll have enough time. I suppose if somebody else is somebody else doing this right now? What maybe we can like kind of peek, or you can tell us what your how the process is for you, Taylor. You figured out how to save the rubric.
Yes.
Nice.
So what I did is assisting in a composite procedure, which is like a filling on a patient. And our current rubric that we use is not in Canvas, it's outside, and it's like it's out of 0, 1, and 0, 1, and 2, and 2 being the maximum points that you can get for each step. But this we have like it's out of I think it's 116 points right now.
Mm.
So uh like looking at it's literally like a step-by-step list. So I put it into ChatGPT. Well, I put it into Copilot just to see what it would do. And let me see if I can open it up. But it like simplified it by a lot. It did make it out of like 3 points each task, because that's just the format it was in.
Hmm.
Back to what course I did it in. So I did it in like last 207. But yeah, it just simplified the steps and then it made it into a rubric. Because one thing we're trying to work on our program is getting away from paper. So we're trying to
Oh yeah.
digitize all of our assignments. So trying to figure out how students can access, and then in our program we have them do peer assessments. And so trying to figure out like how we can do that on the computer. So we're gonna try to somehow use Canvas. So digitizing our rubrics is one thing that we are working on.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I was talking with Roberta and she was saying that y'all were there was like a peer review kind of
yeah.
paper that you all have to print a bunch to
Which
work
one?
on it.
Oh, this one. Okay. I think I'm sharing the right one now.
I can see assisting the dentist.
Yeah, assisting the dentist with a composite filling. So I uploaded it in there. So prepares operatory instruments with and restorative materials for composite procedure. So like setting up the room, maintaining asepsis technique that complies with infection control protocols. So no cross-contaminating, and then like um, disinfecting and like sterilizing their instruments at the end.
Mm.
Four-handed dentistry, meaning that you're like passing instruments the correct way.
Mm.
There is like a longer description thing, but it's not that much longer than the original.
Oh.
I guess you could go into more detail.
I was gonna make a comment and say I like how short the mastering, reinforcing, and emerging are because there's
Yeah,
just so many of them. It's nice that it's just like a simple sentence that
yeah.
describes their ability.
Currently, ours are like 0, 1, and 2. So I'll like open up my no, I'll share that screen, but see if I can open up one of our current ones. Because like right now we are just 0, 1, and 2, and we just tell them like 0 means you didn't do it at all. 1 means
Oh,
we kind of had to prompt you to do it, and then 2 means you did it. So we don't really have like a definition on what each step is for each assignment.
mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And then, so you would probably go back to whatever you use to make this rubric to say that you want the options to be 0, 1, 2.
Yeah, because that's how like all of our, I mean, I think it is helpful to have like a description of each step.
Mm-hmm.
So like so they know like okay, this is because we all grade the same essentially, but it kind of does leave it for more like interpretation. Let's
Yeah.
see, share my screen with this one. Let's see, third quarter assessment composite.
While Taylor's bringing that up, has anybody else tried the rubric importer? We kind of brought it up last time a little bit, but is anybody else out there working on it right now? I think they're so into doing it and concentrating that maybe they're not able to
This
hop
is like
off.
what we currently have. So currently they like it's very detailed
Yeah.
in what steps they have to perform, but then they have like
Oh,
peer assessment and then they have their final instructor assessment with us. This is like
okay.
this is their one of their last assignments. So this is pretty much their capstone for their second to lab before they go out to clinicals.
And I was reading the if can you zoom in a little bit on the performance objective where it says here, so this looks like it could go on a resume. Uh let's see. Proven ability to demonstrate the proper technique when assisting with preparation, placement, and finishing of composite restorations. Doesn't that seem like it would be something on a resume?
Mhm.
Like a line?
Yeah.
So that's right there at the top of this one in the objective. And yeah, I love this. And it's got the criteria there and give a little spot for the peers to come in and do some of the work. Yeah, this looks great. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna steal the share back, Taylor. Thank you though. I appreciate you doing that. That was kind of like la, I didn't ask you beforehand, but appreciate you being able to do that. Um, if y'all are in the course, are on the assignment page here for the meeting, there is another form. If you can put the no, it says here CWLO outcome, but it should be any assignment that you added the rubric to. So, um, Taylor, you could just go to the URL bar and copy and paste that link in there. That way I can kind of see what y'all are working on in your courses. And this week is another inspection document related to competency-based instruction. So, um, some of you, like I said, you can go in and make a special note on some of these if you're not, it doesn't relate to you. But I think a lot of these are pretty relatable. Next week is going to be our final week before we go on vacation for a month. And then we're going to finish up the last 2 weeks of the course. But next week we're doing the sustainability room, digital adaptability, and applied AI. So we're going to look at some AI next week. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate your time, and especially since we had to shift the time a bit. We'll meet at our normal 1 o'clock Monday next Monday, okay? See y'all later. Oh, Dean, can I get you for one?